Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, it's still dark, actually. It's not dawn yet, but it's coming. I have two bourbon whiskeys. This is Bird Dog Select Stock, nicknamed the Irish Setter bottle. 40% alcohol, no age state. It's bottled in Kentucky by Three Springs Distilling for Western Spirits, and it's not listed on the website, although the website mentions that they have unflavored bourbon, but they don't list what they are. But I did find this at Walmart for $10 on closeout, believe it or not. $10. Wasn't looking to buy it, but for $10 I was. Okay, so that was a great deal. This bottle, so it runs about $19.99. This is Jeppson's. I see this at Rouse's all the time. They have a new bottle design, but I still see this bottle, the 2023-24 bottle. It's got the Chicago crest. It's bottled in Chicago, Illinois by CH Distillery, called Jeppson's Company. But I think the actual name of the company is CH Distillery. Introduced in 2020. It's a blend. It's like it says on the label, a blend of straight bourbons. And on the website, I'm going to show you in a moment. It's a blend of straight bourbons from Indiana, across the river in Kentucky, and then down below, south of that, in Tennessee. So why did they choose blended whiskey from 3 different states? I cannot answer that. They don't explain why. I guess it fits their taste profile that they're looking for on blending. It's not really common to find blends of straight bourbons, but it does exist, and it is a type of bourbon. The class is called bourbon. The class is whiskey. The type is bourbon. It's a subtype of bourbon, actually. Okay, there's the real cork, which I moisturized. There it is, it focused. Now you can criticize me for moisturizing it, but I don't care, because I've had 3 instances of dry rotted corks. And it is not fun to deal with that. You can deal with it. There's a way to fix it, but it's aggravating. I know somebody had a bottle of E.H. Taylor, brand new bottle, went to open it, cork broke, dry rot. Still sitting there like that. I told the guy, I said, I know how to fix that. Okay, but they never did anything. But that's on them. They paid for it. I didn't. I would have immediately corrected the problem. But like I say, it's not my bottle. All right. So appearance, poured a little bit too much Bird Dog, unfortunately. I don't want to waste the Jeppson's. Jeppson's is copper, and this one is gold, amber gold. 100 proof versus 80 proof. I don't think it's going to be much of a challenge. 40% alcohol versus 50%. You would think it wouldn't be. Jeppson's run about $29 here, which I don't know if that's a good price, but that's what Rouse's has it for, $20. I've never seen it in my town, nowhere in my town. But into Kenner and Meadow. Here is Jeppson's bourbon, the new bottle they're showing. A blend of straight bourbon whiskeys aged a minimum of in new charred American oak barrels. That doesn't need to be said, because all bourbon has to be aged in new charred American oak. If not, it's disqualified as bourbon, and it would be whiskey. We create, not bourbon whiskey. Create our winning flavor profile from a blend of barrels sourced. Okay, this is source, independent bottler. It's not an actual distillery. They might distill that weird Malort. Independent bottling whiskey. Non-chill filtered, forgot to put that, 100 proof. Mash bill is 75% corn, 21. Now, I don't know how they constructed that from 3 different sources, but that's what they're saying. 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% barley. Strange, isn't it? They also make a 90 proof, which I've not seen. It's the same product, but just brought down to 90 proof. Then there's some barrel single programs that you have to special order. Cask strength, barrel finished bourbon, sherry, cognac, or port. That's the ones they offer. More than likely, you're not going to see those on the shelf, but you might. But I think you'd have to kind of sign up for that. All right. Then there's, when we say made in Chicago, we mean it, except for this bourbon, which is not Chicago. But they have some other products, you see. Look like some vodkas, espresso martini liqueur, the bourbon. The Malort is their flagship, which I've never tried, but people make videos about it and say it's very strange and so forth. But then there's some other liqueurs on the left. Founded in 2013. I think the Malort goes back further than that, but they got a hold of it, you see. Then there's this Ginseng Moto, but I don't know anything about it. Darwin says late night, Mr. Terrio. You had a late night? Well, I did not. That's why I'm up so early. No, I'm not up from staying up overnight. I got up at 2:24 and 2:34, something like that. About 2:30, let's say. I started doing my thing. This is the shirt that I'm wearing, the sweatshirt. Outlaw Mile High Light Beer. In case you're wondering what that, those antlers are for. Here we go. Oh, here we don't go. I got to update my notes. Non-chill filtered, 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. Now, that's three different things, and they're saying three different states. So, could it be a corn whiskey aged in New Charter, Illinois, Indiana, I mean. So could it be 100% corn, which would be bourbon if it was aged 4 years in charred oak? Could it be a rye whiskey aged in new charred oak barrels from Kentucky, and then malted barley whiskey, a single malt barley from Tennessee, and then blend it all together? I don't know how that legally, how that would work. You might know. But we know it's a blend of three different states. And we know they're all straight bourbons. And we know they have the mash bill, the ratios. And we know it's non-chill filtered. Otherwise, it's a mystery. And funny thing about it, by making a blend of straight bourbons, then it's not a straight bourbon. What I mean is, it's a strange thing if you read your regulations. If you take a whiskey and it's a blend of straight bourbons, totally allowed, definitely allowed, because that's even, like I said, a subtype. But itself is not straight because you're allowed to add flavoring and or coloring to it. True story, not making that up. Now, I'm not saying this has flavoring or coloring added. It doesn't indicate that, although that's not required if you read your regulation. Doesn't say it is. It doesn't say it isn't. Doesn't taste like it, but those flavorings can be very surreptitious, very secretive, and you don't pick them up, but they're just in there to tweak it. So once you see that designation as a blend of straight bourbons, all bets are off. It changes the deck. The cards are changed. If it just says straight bourbon, absolutely not. Can't have coloring or flavoring added. This one just says bourbon, so I don't know what the story is on that. Why it doesn't say straight, I cannot figure it out, because it is aged at least 4 years by virtue of having no age statement. It's Kentucky, so it's all the whiskeys are from Kentucky, so it's a mystery. You say, well, it's because it's from different distilleries. Yeah, but if you read your regulations on straight bourbon, it doesn't have to be from the same distillery. Or am I confused? Or is that just it would be allowed to be Kentucky? I'll have to check it. We'll have to check this. The aroma, yeah, corn. One is 75% corn, and I would not be shocked if the bird dog wasn't 75% or 80% corn. Wouldn't matter, as long as it's 51% or higher. The bourbon regulations are at the same time tight, but then they're loose. You understand? There are some very strict regulations, but they're loosely, how do I say this? They're constructed in a way that gives you a lot of latitude and longitude. You know what I'm saying? Gives you a wide parameter of how you want to do it. It's on its face very restrictive, but in reality, it's not really that restrictive. If you just follow the simple guidelines, you can make 1,000 different products within those parameters. So it's not really that different from Canadian whiskey, which people like to rip on Canadian whiskey, say, oh, they allow flavoring but so does American bourbon if you do it in a certain way, which the Jeppson's is an example of what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about. You get the charred oak. Now, I don't know about the rye. Maybe there's a little rye spice. Bourbons often, almost always have rye in them. Not required by any means, but it's common practice. Give it a little spiciness. I don't know. It doesn't taste like there's malted barley in it. It tastes like cornbread to me. But yeah, spicy cornbread. Oh, this one's got a lot higher proof. It tastes like it is stronger, more bolder, more body. This must be the Jeppsons. So I'm going to call it the Jeppsons. Got it right. So not much of a challenge on telling them apart. Do they taste the same? Not really, except that they're mostly corn. So you get that corn flavor. But I don't think most people would confuse the two. And you could just say, yeah, well, you used a clue, a cognitive clue. You knew it was 10% stronger, 50% alcohol versus 40, and you just use that as a backdoor. But yeah, so would anybody else. You use process of elimination, you get the answer. Claude Diamond. Hello, Claude. Good morning, Mr. Ron. Drinking coffee, watching you. How do these bourbons compare to Evan Williams? Interesting that you asked that question. I guess they're more similar than different. They're certainly a lot more expensive. So I don't think they have the value of Evan Williams. I can buy a bottle of Evan Williams. I can buy 750 milliliters of Evan Williams for $9.99, the green label, as long as or actually $9 for a liter at one store. I won't name it, but I'm not buying any more bourbon for the next 20 years, probably. Considering my backstock. LB3 would be a good challenge, but once again, I can get that for less than 20 if I look around. I got mine for $9. Don't know why that happened. Now that's a mystery. That is a real mystery. Walmart in Luling, Louisiana, which is across the river on the west bank of the Mississippi River, which many geographers consider the dividing line between the western United States and the eastern United States. So it's like, that's the west, this is the east. Okay, in a general sense. They had it for $9 on a closeout. But why? They didn't stop selling it. It's fully stocked. I was at Walmart this week. What am I saying? This week. They had Evan Williams. They had a whole end cap, on the end of the aisle, full of Evan Williams, big bottles, regular bottles. They had the 1783 and the regular black label. And the 1783, they had it, the regular 1783 and the American Heroes edition. They put out around the 4th of July, Independence Day. Same price for either one. It didn't matter. They're about They're not technically the same, but they pretty much about the same. But there's your value. You say, I want a good bourbon with good flavor, and I want a good price. But there's your answer, Evan Williamson. Outlaw, kind of strange beer. I bought a case, says Alan, about a year ago, and it was sweet. Just couldn't get into it. And then I bought another a month ago. It's completely different, and I kind of liked it. Maybe they had some quality control issues. It is a small company. They moved their production to a different brewery owned by the same parent company in Colorado. I like it. It has more flavor than a regular light beer, which is probably why it might fail, because light beer drinkers usually are opposed to flavor or much of it. So they'll say, oh, it's too rich. It's something about it. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? If it's not totally dry, crisp, and almost flavorless, they don't like it. I think that's what hurt Miller High Life Light. It had too much flavor. They still make it very limited regional availability these days. That's why I did like Miller High Life Light. You didn't really get that much more calories. We got a whole lot more flavor. Milwaukee's Best Light, you get more flavor, low calories. But some people don't like it. See, got flavor. You say, well, what about Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light? Yeah, those are really popular, and they got very thin flavor. But they're crisp. You know, that's the hard thing, to make one with no flavor, you know. All right, my next step is giving up smoking on my behalf. Yes, that's a very good idea. Or at least bringing it down low, low, low. It was bad. Now it's pretty good. See? You're talking about the Outlaw. All right, so that's it. I'm going to look up those regulations in a minute, but I want to turn this off because I want to go check the news out. I'm a little curious. So I'm going to give the win to Jeppson's. Got more flavor, but then it is $10. You're going to pay $10 more for it, at least $7 more. So got to think about that. I don't know if it's worth the extra money. We'll see. I don't know. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.